Okay, and then Alyssa. Okay,
Hey.
guys, welcome. Oh my gosh, Alyssa, I haven't actually seen you in like a while. Your hair is so long. Holy
I
girl,
know, it's really growing, huh?
crazy. Oh my gosh. So anyone who doesn't know, this is Alyssa Rushton. She's a friend of mine from the States. She's a presidential diamond. And I remember when I was introduced to her, um, not in person, but like as first time ever hearing about her, I was a diamond. And I can't remember whose Zoom it was, but I remember she was a speaker on it and she was explaining her journey to triple diamond at the time. And I was super moved by her because her story, like she only had one boy at the time, but she just had no excuses. And that's the type of person that I am. And I really knew hearing her story that I was like, okay, like I can do this. I'm going to be like her. And I remember her on the video because she was sitting in her office. I don't know if you are in a different house now, but she was sitting in her office and I just remember like seeing her in an office and I was like, oh my God, I need an office. Like I need an office. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do exactly what she's doing. And your hustle was what really inspired me. So I'm going to get her to talk to us tonight about her journey to presidential, like how, in obviously as short as she can. I'm going to have her for like maybe 45 minutes tonight because she has other things going on after. So her journey to where she is today and, all the roadblocks or struggles that she had along the way, because obviously this is life. Whether it's business or your normal life, there's always going to be roadblocks. And if you guys have questions along the way, put them in the chat. We will try to get to them all. We won't answer them as we go. We'll wait till after. And then when she's done her story, I just asked her to, give us some tips on what like tips that she feels like you guys could benefit from when it comes to getting a bonus, because she has earned a lot in bonuses alone. So go ahead, girl. I'm going to mute myself so you don't hear me in the background.
Hi, you guys. Thank you so much, Angela, for asking me to jump on. I thought it was like so touching to say that, I inspired you so long ago because you inspire me every single day. You guys, before I get into my story, I just want to tell you this. Find your circle, like find besties in this business and run with them, because like not only is it going to push you in the business, it's going to push you in life to be a better person. It's going to push you to be a better leader. But it's also going to help you get through life. Like we've been through miscarriages together, Angela and I, like these are like life friends, you guys. So find your people and love them hard, because that's what's going to get you through the tough times in this business. So you guys turn your video on. I want to see your pretty faces and we're just going to dive right into this. So my name is Alyssa Rushton. I am 25 years old. I'm from Colorado and I joined this business 4 years ago. I can't even believe it's been that long already. But at the time I was a 21-year-old brand new mom. A couple months before I joined, I had just graduated nursing school, landed what I thought was my dream job in the ER, and like it just seemed like life was falling into place. And then my boyfriend at the time, we're now married, we found out that we were pregnant and we had no savings. We both had student loans. We decided to buy a house together because we were, doing all the things that society told us that we needed to do. We were getting the credit cards. We were, buying all the things. And then time goes on and at 32 weeks pregnant, I got put on bed rest. So we were then instantly a one income family. And with my nursing job, I was making about $5,000 a month. So it was a good income until it stopped abruptly. And, we didn't have a savings account. We were in debt and life was hard. You guys, we were struggling. We were borrowing money from our parents just to pay our bills. Like it was really, really hard. So whatever, time goes on, we keep struggling. We have our son in November, and then January rolls around and it's time for me to go back to work. And my heart was absolutely crushed thinking about leaving this perfect little human that I made inside my body for the last 9 months, leaving him at home with, or at the babysitter, or even with family. Like that was tearing me up because I was his mom and I wanted to be there with him. So I went out on a whim and I had been watching this girl like sling wraps for like a year. And I was like, I just had a baby. Like, I need some of that in my life. I want to try this. So instead of ordering the wraps, I clicked join. And I'm so thankful that I did, because it has absolutely transformed our life. This business has really grown me up as a person. And I'm just forever indebted to the Pentecost. And I just want you guys to understand, you have your hands on a gold mine, and you just have to dive in. You just have to do your part. You just have to do the work, and it's going to bless you immensely if you're willing to do that. So now, because of It Works, I'm obviously a full-time mom to my now 2 boys. Every day looks different for us, and that's why I love this business. You know, we're not stuck in a rat race. We get to make decisions based on what our family needs. And this year it's my goal to bring my husband home. And we just have a lot of big things that we're working on right now, and it's so exciting. So because of the business, I am, you know, a presidential diamond. We've earned over $125,000 in bonuses. We've paid off over $30,000 in medical debt, over $100,000 in other debt. And it has just, it's life-changing. And I'm so thankful that I get to share that, you know, with all of you guys. And yeah, so I'm just going to kind of take you through my journey a little bit of, you know, building the business, and some tips that I have, some mistakes that I made that I will hopefully help you not make. And you just have to realize that this is a business, and, you know, mistakes happen, and that's okay. You learn from it, you grow, and you move on. So I went Ruby in about a month. I think it was like 40 days-ish. And then at my 1-year mark, I was a double diamond. And this was right after conference. So at conference, they announced these huge bonuses. And then the next month I went double, and earned like $50,000 in bonuses in 1 month. And that was kind of like the light bulb for my husband. Like, holy crap, like there is money to be made in this business. So it took him like a year to realize, you know, what I was doing was legit, and to really understand. So if you have a spouse, he was never unsupportive of me. He was always very supportive. But if you have somebody that just doesn't quite get it, that's okay. Just keep going. Like, they don't have to get it. You're just going to help them get it when you start bringing home those big checks. So, moving on, 14 months in, I went triple. By this time, we had earned like $70,000 in bonuses. And then, you guys, life hit. So I would say up to triple, it was kind of like ignorance on fire. You know, I was really young. I was excited about it. My leadership was like trying to get there, but everything was happening really fast. And then everybody quit, right? It happened. Life happened. You know, some of my good friends left the business. Some of my, you know, people that I had been friends with for like 10 years, they decided it wasn't for them. And it just taught me a really big lesson. And I think it was an important one, that you can't take it personally. You know, her and I are still very good friends, and it just wasn't for her. And that's okay. Anyone can do this business, but not everybody will. So the sooner that you realize, you know, this isn't for everyone. And if somebody walks away, like, you can be sad for a minute, but you have to let them go, because in the overall picture, they weren't meant for your team. They weren't meant for the business. And if they don't have the grit to keep going, you say goodbye and you move on and you go find your next runner. People are going to quit. That's just business. That's just how it goes. So 2 years goes by, you guys, before I went presidential. So in that time, yes, I could have quit. I wanted to quit hundreds of times, but that's just not me. Like, I'm not a quitter. I refuse. I'm like way too prideful to walk away from something, you know, that I put time, blood, and tears into. I wasn't going to quit. So 2 years goes by, and I go presidential with pretty much a brand new team. 2 of my amazing leaders have been with me the whole time, but you know, you just have to keep building. I don't like to say the word rebuilding. If you use that phrase, get rid of it, because we are always building. So you're never rebuilding. You're just always building. And that makes it so much funner, right? Like, this business is fun. And if it's not fun for you right now, you have to find the fun again, because that's what's holding you back. So yeah, that was pretty much my journey. So in April of 2019, I went to Presidential Diamond. We earned some big bonuses. And my second son was born November 2018. So I had a 4-month-old baby and a 3-year-old running around. So if you feel like my life's too busy or like things are too crazy, they're not. It's not. There's no excuses. Like, you can get this done. Even if you're working a full-time job, I have ladies on my team that work full-time jobs, and one of them has already signed like 25 customers this month working a full-time job. So it's doable. You just have to prioritize this. If this is important to you, you will find a way and you will find the time. So, Angela, was there any other parts of my story that you wanted me to cover? I think I got most of it, but
yeah, you basically got most of it, or like from what I remember you telling me, or that from that one Zoom. Can you touch a little bit on, okay, when you went triple and then life happened, right?
yeah.
So what do you feel like, what made you fire back up to get to your next stop after that life situation? Because I know that with me, especially because I'm such a red personality, when people are like, oh, life happens, and I'm like, okay, well, everybody has life happen, let's keep going. Like, that's just who I am, where I find that it's really hard for me to be sensitive with people in that situation. But that's
Yeah.
just my personality. It's not that I'm like a mean person. I just genuinely think that way. So how do you find that you found yourself and were able to really pull yourself up and kind of keep going, sort of thing? Because I know a lot of people struggle with that. They, like, once life hits, they fall off, obviously, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, I can't get motivated again, I don't know what to do. And like, money, you think money would make me want to do this, but they just literally they struggle. And it's, for me, I don't have the answer because I'm not like that. So it's a real tough question for someone like me to answer, where you might have a couple nuggets that these people can really take.
Yeah. So for me, you guys, I had got so complacent. Like, those triple checks were great, like everything was good. I had to get a bigger why, because my why was no longer big enough. So, 2018, like, we went through a lot. We lost people. We had a miscarriage, and then we had a baby. So, like, a lot was happening. And I just had to find a new why and a new drive. Like, of course, my son and my husband were still my why. But then my why grew to, okay, like, we want to pay off our parents' bills. We want to pay off not only our stuff, but we want to do big things. So I think just really getting outside of yourself and just kind of taking this to another level, like, find a new why. If your why isn't strong enough anymore to keep pushing you, you need to find a new one, and it needs to be strong. So I think that was, for me, my biggest aha moment of, I had been sitting at triple for 2 years, and I really just had to have that level up. Like, if you want your paycheck to grow, you have to grow your mind and your mindset. You will never out earn your mind. So if your mind is in a crappy place, your checks are going to be in a crappy place. So if you are like, dang, like, I'm doing the work, I'm sending the messages, I'm doing the host of posts, I'm like doing all the things, but you're not growing your mind, you aren't going to get there. So if you're serious about earning these bonuses, make it a priority every single day. Journal, do your affirmations. Like, you have to grow your mind, because this business is 80% mindset and 20% physical workload. So when you get that 80% in check, it makes that 20% a lot easier to get done. It makes it fun, and you just have to find that part. So, yeah, growing your mind, and you have to start to learn to love that part of this business. Because before, like, I was like, nah, personal development, like, I don't need that. Like, I'm a happy person, I'm positive. But you guys, like, it is necessary, and you have to grow yourself before people are going to trust you to jump in the business, to follow you. And the other part of that, when we say life happened, I wasn't working. I wasn't putting the work in. I wasn't working like a presidential diamond would be working to go presidential diamond. Like, I wasn't working that hard, and I wasn't being consistent. So when we say life happened, I think that's pretty much like an excuse for I wasn't doing the work. So when you really, like, get your mind in check, like, ask yourself these questions. Like, am I sending them messages? Am I getting the post up? However it is that you work your business, am I going live? Like, am I doing my stories consistently every day? Am I telling my story relentlessly over and over again? Because people want to hear you. You know, you can't be Angela. You can't be me. You have to be you. And that's what people want. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, you know what though? It's so true about self-development. Like, I was like you. I was like, I remember when someone was, I think I was just a diamond, honestly. And it was a struggle to get to diamond. I mean, it happened decently quick, 6 months, but I mean, back then we had the charts that were 24 people on it, and 2 of my 24 worked. So of course I was definitely working, absolutely. But my mind was not where it needed to be. And that's why I stopped and got off of the escalator at Diamond and sat there for a year, because I wasn't growing myself. And I didn't know I didn't even know what online marketing was when I started. So I definitely didn't know what self-development was. And I remember a girl who's no longer in the business anymore, but she had actually introduced me to self-development, and I thought it was, not that I was judging, but I thought it was kind of like, it's not really my thing. It's kind of like yoga, it's just not for me. And I was like, like, I don't know. And then I kind of understood that self-development, there was more to it. So there's self-development where you can do affirmations, you can listen to motivational, or watch motivational videos, you can read books, you can listen to books, you can also listen to music. Like, there are so many different ways of self-development that it's almost like you have to find the one that's right for you. Because for me, I'm not really huge on affirmations. Don't get me wrong, I like to write them down, but I'm not someone who like will say them, or that's just not, the kind of person that I am. I could do that, but for me, I really get way more out of it when I watch videos and I read books. That for me is what really helps me. And once I started doing that, no word of a lie, my business shifted. And it shifted in a way that I probably wouldn't be where I am today with the business if I hadn't have started self-development, which is crazy, but it's true. And I remember someone saying that what you said just a minute ago was 80% is mindset and the rest is skill. And I didn't really understand that, but now today I really do believe that's the truth. Because how many times have you guys woke up literally in a crappy mood? Or, for me, especially like right now, I'm being pregnant, of course my hormones are through the roof. There are times when I do wake up feeling, like I don't want to do work. It's the last thing I want to do. But if I stay like that, what gets done? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And guess what kind of people I talk to that day if I do stay in that mindset? I talk to people that are going to tell me no. I talk to people that have attitude. It's one thing after another. And that's literally your mindset, which is wild. It's wild. But if I turn that off and I do watch a motivational video, or I listen to another recorded Zoom, and I get motivated, because I'm someone who, I like Zooms because Zooms motivate me. When I hear other people's struggles, and which is also very weird, but when I hear other people's struggles, it makes me motivated because they've overcome them. So every aspect of life, you're going to have a roadblock. So when you get on these Zooms and you hear other people, go through these things, it's motivation. So when you start your day with something like self-development, how is your day going to go? It's probably going to go a heck of a lot better than if you're stuck in that mindset of worrying about what Karen said. Oh, Karen from Kansas said to you, or you know what I mean? Like, or how you and your husband got in an argument before he left to work, whatever the case may be. Self-development can be huge. It's wild because a lot of people don't understand that, but I can't stress it enough.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's so important.
It's
so
just
important.
Insane. I don't know, it's crazy.
So
one other thing I was going to ask you too is I like the whole, so I do say rebuilding, but I don't say it in the aspect of or in the sense of I say it as we are for me, the word rebuilding is we're building more. I don't sit and oh, we have to keep rebuilding. I build and build and build and build and build, because it took me a long time to understand that building is okay. Because a lot of times when you get into the business, you start to get confused as to, you look at this chart that you're working on, okay, here's my diamond. Now these people aren't working, so do I keep stacking on it or do I start something new? And people don't really know where to go in that direction. So the whole rebuilding thing is, I love that you touched on that, because I can't stress it enough. The best thing I ever did with my business also was continuing to build, always building, because you just never know, like you said, who's going to leave you. And it's okay that people leave you. It's going to happen. Now, I know that quite a few people on here that I can see are going for definitely for these bonuses, but a lot of them are also newer to the business. What would you say to someone who is going for the promotion, has a newer chart because they're new to the business, and there's boxes, distributors, I guess, that don't work? Like, because you know how people can get super like not only disappointed, but they also start to think, well, so and so needs to work more for me to get to where I need to go, or they're not working, so I'm not going to get that promotion. Like, what do you think? What do you tell your team when it comes to them understanding that people are going to come and go, but you can still carry on?
Okay, so I think there's a lot of things that I want to talk about with this subject, but the first and foremost thing is, this is your business. This isn't Sally Sue's business is her business, but this is your business. And if you want this to work for you, stop looking at other people. Number one, always be your biggest runner, because your team will follow that. If you are just like telling people what to do and not actually doing it, you guys, nobody's going to come with you. So number one, this is your business. You have to take initiative. You have to, say, I'm going to do this with or without these people. Like, obviously they're your team and you care about them and you love them and, you want them to succeed, but you can't see the vision for somebody. So if they don't see the vision, you just keep going. And, if people on your team aren't working, you can build a diamond by yourself. And I'll say it again, you can build a diamond by yourself. Go find runners if you can, but if they're not coming, just keep going, just keep working and go get the promotion, because this is your business. That bonus is for your family. They are important. This bonus is important. Like, you are worthy of this. And when you stop worrying about other people and start focusing on the fact, like, am I doing the things that I need to do every day to go get this bonus? Like, if you are, that's amazing. And you're probably going to go earn it. The one other thing that I really want to talk about with this is money mindset, you guys. And this is something that is pretty newly introduced to me, like within the past year or so. But I want each and every one of you to think of the rank that you are going for. So let's say the majority of the people on this Zoom are probably going for diamond. So that $15,000 bonus, I want you to open up a notebook. If you have a journal, if you have a hundreds list, whatever it is, something that you use for your business, I want you to open that up and I want you to write down to the dollar what you are going to do with that $15,000. Because when you get very clear with this, when you get crystal clear with your vision is going to become reality. And, I think so many times we get so caught up, like, just on the how. Stop asking how and just get to work. The how is going to come. Stop asking how. Stop freaking out about how you're going to do it and just work. The rest will take care of itself. And the other thing I want to say is, if you really start caring about your people in your leadership, like, I'm not talking about caring about them working, but actually truly caring about getting to know them, why they need this business, and just those types of things. Like, I want to know why my girls join this business, so that when they want to quit and then when they aren't working, I can remind them about that why, because their why is important to them. That's why they joined. So, get to know your people and just get on a personal level with them, because the more you do that, the more you're going to be able, to connect with them. And yeah, so that's what I do.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And another, about knowing your team too, is one of the best things that I started doing not started, it's like you always do this as a leader, but when you start to almost put your promotion a little bit on the back burner and you really focus on the people that really want this. And what I say to my team, and this is very red and direct, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I'm a very red personality, is that if I'm going to show up for you every day and you're not showing up for you, you're wasting my time. Because honestly, I believe in every single one of you on my team. And I will work with you every day, in and out, any hour of the day. I'll make it work. But if you can't show up for yourself, then why am I showing up? And once you find people to literally pour into on your team that want this and you help them achieve their goals, your business takes off. Because not only are you, your goal as the leader or of your own pack is always going to be important. We all started this business for a reason. But when you really make it known to your leaders on your team that their goals are just as important and that you will show up for them and you work with them and you guide them and you mentor them and you lead the pack, it all changes, because that's when things just start to organically grow. Because people, you believe in them and they believe in themselves, and then they start trickling that down to their teams. And that's when things really took off for me, I think, last year, is when I really started to focus on individuals who I knew really wanted this. And you kind of put yourself on the back burner, but in a good way. It's a good way. You're not obviously going to miss your promotion, but you know what I mean? But I really agree with everything that you've said. And sometimes going on Zooms like this, even if you've heard it before, it's nice to hear it again from other people, because sometimes you just need a reminder and that reassurance that you are doing things. There is no right and wrong in this business, really, because everyone does their business so differently. But it's nice to hear that, everyone struggles, everyone's had roadblocks, and everyone is working towards their goals and all this stuff. And you have to work together. There's no I in team. And Alyssa wouldn't be sitting out presidential if she didn't have a team. That's just not how it works. And she sure as heck wouldn't be sitting there if she didn't do anything. So understanding that you guys have to understand that when you're showing up for a promotion, for a bonus, you have to work as a team. It is so important. And just because someone leaves does not mean that you're not going to get it. The best thing you can do is continue to stay focused, laser focused, and be hungry and be desperate. That's what's going to get you to where you need to go. And the minute someone falls off, you just keep going. You just bring in new people, because if you think about it, a lot of times, this is very true for me, especially, I could bring in 10 people and only 2 of them really work. So with that, knowing that, you have to remember, you can't just you can't sit there and dwell. Just keep bringing people in, because you're going to find your next Alyssa. You will. It happens. And sometimes it takes finding 10 duds before you find her. That's the truth. It just happens that way. Does anyone have any questions at all for Alyssa? Anything? No question is stupid. Please don't hesitate. Ask anything you want while we have her, because she does have something else to do after this Zoom. And if there is no other questions, if you could leave us with one of your best tips for these rock stars that are going to, I truly believe that most of you, if not all of you, will earn your bonus, whatever you're going for, as long as you stay laser focused, hungry, and desperate. And what I mean by hungry and desperate, if you're not on my team, if you're on my team, you know what I mean. But if you're not on my team, what I mean by that is I want you to just quickly visualize an emergency in your life. Something happens in your life and it's an emergency. It could be your family, it could be your child, and that family member is now in the hospital and you're at some event. Do you rush to the hospital because you're desperate to get to your family or your child? And then there's roadblocks along the way. Your car doesn't start. The hospital tells you you're not allowed to go in the doors. How hungry and desperate are you to see that child? How hungry and desperate are you to see that family member? Now, if you can be that hungry and desperate to see for that situation, you can be hungry and desperate for this situation. That's exactly how you have to look at it. Because if you are that hungry and that desperate, no roadblock's going to stop you. You will not allow anything at all to stop you from reaching your goal. And you guys are almost done your 30 out of 60 days before this promotion, before these bonuses come. You're halfway done basically. If you can stick in this long, you can do another 30. And I promise you can. But the truth is that you have to show up. Like Alyssa said, it's like, are you actually working? Because if you're working, you're putting in the time, it always pays off. Always. You got to be honest with yourself. Are you doing income producing activities? Are you showing up and leading your team? So how do you get out of the mentality of being stuck?
Okay, so this is simple. It's super simple. You just go to work. It starts with one. It starts enrolling one loyal customer, one distributor. And when you get that one, you're not going to feel stuck anymore. I can guarantee 100%. It's going to light a fire under your butt. You're going to remind yourself that you're capable, that you are worthy, and that you can do this. So it just starts with one. So if you feel stuck tonight, I challenge you after this Zoom, go get up 5 host-to-post. I don't know what time it is at your house. If it's like the middle of the night, don't do that because nobody's going to comment. But like, go do something income producing. Go send messages. Go line up host-to-post for tomorrow. Getting unstuck is so simple. It's just putting in the work and finding what's fun. So whatever it is for you in this business, maybe it's going live. Maybe it's doing a live video about your business. Maybe that's fun for you. Maybe it's messaging, whatever it is, you just have to find the fun and go and enroll one person. You will not be stuck anymore.
How true is that? Hey, it is. Think of how many times you guys have enrolled a customer, how good you feel. For me, how I picture it is I'm fishing. I'm constantly fishing. And then you catch a fish and you're like, woo! And you're like, I gotta do another one. I gotta get another one. It's like addicting. And that's how I explain this business. It's addicting for me. It's like, I can't just, but it is true. People do get stuck and it's tough that's your mindset too, right? You're telling yourself you're stuck. You're telling yourself that you can't get forward. And someone asked me just the other day, actually, how are you getting up so early to do work? Like, I want to get up early. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm pregnant, so I can't sleep past a certain time because my hips kill. But second, it's literally one day at a time. You get up that one day and it sucks. Believe me, you feel like a hot mess express and you're like, I need coffee before I can even look at anything. But it's the next day, it's easier. The next day, it's easier. The next day, and all of a sudden you're up all the time and you're doing it. Same with being stuck. The minute you start, and one other thing too, that's in our team page I wrote the other day that really got a lot of people excited was, you have to remember that you guys can be sending out 100 messages a day. And if you're not getting anyone, does that mean that you're failing? No, absolutely not. Do you know how I see it? You just planted 100 seeds. 100 seeds. If you're a farmer, do you plant 100 seeds and get nothing? No, you don't get 100. You don't put 100 seeds in the ground and nothing grows. You have to water it. Of course, there's follow-ups, there's doing your income producing activities, but don't be disappointed if it doesn't grow right away. Like if you are messaging, you're doing the work, it's going to pay off. I promise you. And like Alyssa said, it takes one. The minute you get one, game over. You're good to go. And then you ride that out. You just keep going. You keep showing up. So thank you, Alyssa, so much. I really appreciate your time. I didn't want to bug you because I know it's crazy for everyone. But
I want to leave you guys with one more thing. I challenge you, when you're going for these bonuses, stop thinking, what is the least amount of work that I can do to be successful? And get in an abundance mindset. Our whole conference was based on more. If you want to live and have more, you have to do more first. So get out of that, what's the least I can do to go get this bonus and be successful, into what more can I do to not only get this bonus, but to get this bonus for my team and my team's team. So just start thinking abundantly, because that's when it's really going to happen for you. The more that you do, it's never wasted. And if you work your butt off and you don't make your goal, guess what? You're never going to regret working hard, because you're that much further than you were when you started. So take quitting off the table, go get the bonuses, you guys. And I'm just so excited to see each one of you killing it. I know Angela's told me about some of you guys, and I'm just excited for what 2020 is going to bring to you all.
Thank you so much, girl. I will talk to you soon. Have the best rest of the night.
Bye, guys.
Everyone.